Welcome back, Vicarious viewers. My name is Vicente, and today we are moving on to episode 2 of Loki on Disney Plus. I have to remind you guys that this is not a market substitute and not intended to be, so please, if you have not watched this series, go ahead and watch it yourself with your own legitimate copy, and then come on back for a reaction. Or if you haven't seen it yet at all, hop on over to my Patreon for $5, and you can watch along with me for the first time on there as well. But anyway, this second episode is the variant. So I assume that this one will focus on them tracking down and discovering this new version of Loki, this new variant. I'm excited to learn, like, where did this variant come from? Like, what dimension or timeline? Is this a branch from his past, a branch from his future? Is this a branch version that was created by someone else time traveling? One thing I did notice in editing last episode is that they did say that what the Avengers did was supposed to happen, but they said him escaping was not supposed to happen. Him escaping, however, was the whole reason that Tony and Cap had to go to 1970 to not only get the Tesseract from there, but also get more Pym particles to get them back to the present day. So if Loki was never supposed to escape, then therefore Cap and Tony should have never gone to 1970 and taken the Tesseract from that location. They did, however, go back to each of these times and return everything to its proper place, of course, except the Tesseract in 2012. But how would they return the Pym particles? The whole reason they were returning, that they had to get the Pym particles too, was because they couldn't produce any of their own. And if they couldn't produce any of their own, then they couldn't necessarily return them. Well, wait a minute. I just realized. After Endgame, everyone returns, and since they had the help of Ant-Man there and the Wasp, then by extension they could have gotten the Pym particles from Pym just to return them. Though I think he would be extremely, like... Well, I was going to say reluctant to give them to Dan Stark, but Stark was dead at that point anyway. But still, they should never have gone back to 1970. Stark talking to his father, Cap seeing Peggy. I mean, would Cap have ever gone back to the past to be with Peggy and have a life there, to retire into the past, if he didn't see Peggy in that moment in 1970? So that offers up some wrinkles in the logic here. But wrinkles may actually be a good thing. Not good for the MCU, but good for the developing story of the Multiverse of Madness, because these wrinkles can just further create more chaos that needs to be sorted out in the future. Or, well, maybe not the future, maybe just sorted out in general, because time means nothing here. It is funny too, because for a moment I was thinking, like, after Sakaar, Loki should know by now not to underestimate places he's never heard of before, because without Thor and them's help, like, how would he have gotten off of Sakaar? But then I realized, oh, this Loki has never been to Sakaar, so he doesn't have that experience. Coming here, he was very like, well, if I've never heard of you, then you can't be that great. But by the end of the episode, he's really like, holy shit, what have I been missing? But then him discovering this power now, this force in the universe, the Timekeepers, maybe this just gives him something else to strive for. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Maybe his discovery of the Time Lords is what caused this new variant to emerge. Maybe this new variant is just the future version of himself that he hasn't turned into yet. So, a lot of questions. Let's see if we can get any answers. Like I said before, Head on over to my Patreon if you want to see all of my unedited reactions, especially if you didn't see me react to the part that was your favorite, because of course I do have to edit things out, music, visuals, so I don't get copyright claims. But watch along with me on Patreon for $5 and you can see all of Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Mortal Kombat, Army of the Dead, Mindhunters Season 2, and more to come. Or if you just want to tip me $1 or $2, I do have a $1 and $2 tier on Patreon. You can leave me a tip. I really appreciate all of your support, and thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining me. But let's go ahead and jump into this episode.
You know, time passes differently here in the TVA. That you parade about.
That does look really cool, that city. I'm wondering like where that city is though. Wonder if we'll actually meet the timekeepers, the big three.
Variant we're hunting is you.
That'd be funny if he finally catches up to himself and they're like, well, let's just team up. Since we are the same person, we want the same things. And that wouldn't be too far off, especially for his character. Though, he doesn't do very well with sharing. Like, would he be willing to share with power with himself? What? Oh, pretending to be one of them. Was he pretending to be the whole time since they got there, or just since they walked in the door? I'm confused. Then who did... I thought I just saw someone in a cloak, though. Okay, just controlled. How did a variant of Loki get the power to control someone without the Mind Stone, though? Because that looked green. That didn't look like the blue and black eyes that the Mind Stone usually did in the Scepter. Taking that one with you? Why? Maybe it's not a power, just like another method of taking someone over? Because it looked like she like touched her own temple, or was I not seeing someone behind her? I'll probably catch it in editing.
There's been an attack. Let's go.
No more necklace? Is that smart?
But which kind of Loki remains unknown.
The lesser kind, to be clear.
Let me see the back of that
I
jacket.
bet he thinks of you the same way.
Very subtle. Well done.
Different powers, although powers generally include shape-shifting, illusion, projection, and my
Duplication
favorite...
casting.
Okay, take a breath. Noted.
My guess is that was not their favorite. He said illusion projection, so that could be a lot of things. Like, how big of an illusion are we talking about? And was he just, like, correcting him in duplication being illusion projection, or did he just not say what his favorite was altogether?
Wait. If you leave this tent, you'll end up like them.
We're running out of time, Mobius.
Hold it.
I can deliver you the variant, but I need assurances. Assurances that I won't be completely disintegrated.
He could be totally bullshitting him.
I need to speak to the timekeepers at once.
He's bullshitting. Bullshit.
He's lying. Just playing games. There's no one out there. Yeah, me for a second.
Oh, we actually get to see it. It's one thing you can usually always count on. Loki is a big bullshitter.
I remember this. This must be from that analyst you keep on the side. Eyes on the road.
What did the pen say?
Doesn't work. I'll delete him myself. Let me park you at this desk, and don't be afraid to really lean into this work. Here's a good trick for you. Pretend your life depends on it. I'm gonna get a snack.
'Cause it does.
And stole their research charge as well.
What does he want to reset? Could the Loki come here and, like, reset the TVA itself? What would that do? What would that cause? Does he want to reset Asgard and bring it back? Class 7 Apocalypse. He never experienced that.
So, let's just say your salad is Asgard.
No,
in this scenario.
it's not Asgard. That's
it's
my
a metaphor.
lunch.
Just hang in there.
I want that
And
salad.
Don't mess
I
with my
can go
food.
down to Asgard. I can do whatever I want to do, and it would never matter because
It's all being destroyed anyway.
you. Nice to see you.
Why you always gotta mess with this guy?
Because the apocalypse is coming.
No, don't do... That's the
He's like, I didn't need the visual.
Ragnarok obliterates the salt. Take me to a real apocalypse. Take me to Ragnarok. I'll show you. What could possibly go wrong? We've got to properly test this theory.
You lure me out into the field and then you stab me in the back. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Only 50?
I'd never do it again because it got old. You don't trust me, you can trust one thing. I love be right.
I'll give him that. Ah, Pompeii.
Imagine all that volcanic ash. Oh, come on. It's cool. No, it is cool.
It is pretty cool.
Well, they're all going to die anyway.
So we're gonna start with very small disturbances.
Very small.
Can make noises. Yeah,
Caw-caw.
like pushing noises. Loki, Norman, es Loki.
Ah, he's doing what he does best.
Nothing matters. Nothing has any consequence. Don't while you still can.
Oh, that's awesome.
How we do? No branching in the timeline. If it were me,
Now it's probably a good time to go. Okay.
actually occurring sudden, no warning, no survivors.
How many of those disasters could there possibly be?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Probably a lot. I mean, there's been enough, like, crazy sudden disaster on Earth alone, like, I can only imagine in the whole universe.
Because if you think too hard about where any of us came from, who we truly are, it sounds kind of ridiculous. Existence is chaos. Nothing makes any sense, so we try to make some sense of it. And I'm just lucky that the chaos I emerged into gave me all this.
I love that.
Real?
That was
because I
awesome.
believe it's real.
Fair enough. You
Cheers.
believe it's real.
Am I drinking too fast? I'm not going to have enough for
So
the end.
everything is written.
Scared little boy. You're very clever.
I know.
I'll take the compliment.
Variant left something behind at an old crime scene. Candy box.
Kablooey.
Scared little
Anything?
boy. He gave candy to a scared little boy,
It's not the time of
so
disaster 2048.
hiding in disasters, but possibly helping
2050.
children?
God.
Alabama 2050.
Alabama 2050. What happens to Alabama? Hurricane?
Until it's wiped out by a hurricane, all the
Hurricane.
food supplies you need.
This is all based on a theory from the variant who just blew your previous mission.
Yeah, he's doing great.
As your friend, that's what concerns me.
Okay. Haven Hills, Alabama. About to be wiped off the map. Either that store is really close to the coast, or the storm surge is pretty high at this point. Oh, we have hologram displays by that point. Sweet.
You go with D90, he stays with me.
What are you talking? He's under my supervision.
He might just be tempted to, like, do something because he's with her and he hates her. And he knows you're coming. Is that time until annihilation? Or maybe he's stealing the reset charges just so he can jump to a place, do what he wants, and then prune it before they even get a blip on their radar. Huh. Or maybe he's stealing things from a timeline. Once he has it, he takes it, resets it, so the thing is there, but he also has his own copy of it? That could be a possibility, too. Found their missing agent. What's real?
Here I was worried that they found a better version of me.
You're going to call your little friends for help?
I'm going to overthrow the timekeepers. I could use a qualified lieutenant.
You think I'd take second place to you?
Me.
Loki's never the sidekick.
Loki.
Any version.
Don't call me that. You can call me Randy.
Oh no, I understand why I found this so annoying. Listen, enough with your games. I'm trying to help you. I've kept you vulnerable at the Renaissance Fair for some time.
The answer is no.
The timekeepers, where they are. I gave it away how to find them.
He wants to reset the timekeepers and destroy the time variants, which would unleash all kinds of chaos, multiverse style. Is that what's going on? Does he want a multiverse of madness? Huh. So maybe this is like a two-pronged attack
That's your plan.
on the
Lure
timeline.
us all here so you could blow the place up.
This Loki wants to get rid of the time variance, which regulates the timeline. Wanda is going to rip apart the multiverse, looking for a universe where her kids are still alive. It's going to be a double whammy on the multiverse.
I would never treat me like this.
Well, this other Loki, like, doesn't have the highest regard of you. The only purpose of resetting a timeline that's about to be destroyed anyway would be to destroy these agents.
What do you want from me?
This isn't about you.
Is this a female Loki? Or is this just a form that he's taking? That is awesome. If it is a female Loki, hell yeah. Is it safe to do that many at once? Holy shit. Oh, where are they going?
Where are they going?
That's what I asked. Okay, for a moment I was thinking they were going directly to the time variants. But if they reset timelines, how are they creating branches? No matter where they went, wouldn't they just reset it to what's normal? Of course he did. Of course. He can't resist. Okay, so that was episode 2, The Variant. And Loki was right. He was able to track down his variant version to Apocalypse's. It makes a lot of sense. You can go someplace, interact as you will, and it won't make any difference if everyone there dies, as long as what you do there isn't, like, too big. But we also find out that the variant he's looking for is also female. We have a Lady Loki. Awesome. I mean, that's not too out of character. Loki himself, even in Norse mythology, is, of course, a shapeshifter and a noted cross-dresser when he wore a bridesmaid dress to Thor's wedding when Thor was the bride. And he is also a proud mother of an 8-legged horse, so I love the LGBTQ representation that Loki brings to this series. Happy Pride Month in that regard. Lady Loki. Sweet. This episode had a lot of really good writing. Like the conversation between Mobius and Loki there after that one other botched mission was really good. Really good writing. I'm going to save some of those quotes in editing. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but well done. This does make me think that maybe it is 1, Loki, and 2, Wanda, that are going to be causing a lot of this chaos in the multiverse of madness. Or is it kind of like them combined that's going to cause all of this madness? Because 1, you're going to have Wanda ripping open the multiverse, looking for different timelines where her sons are still alive, where she can be with them again. And 2, if this Loki causes chaos at the TVA, or even eliminates them, or at least causes enough destruction that they can't do their job properly to repair all of these timelines that are going to be ripped open by Wanda, I can see how these problems will compound on each other and cause probably the major conflict for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I do know that Loki and Wanda are cast in that movie, so exciting. I was wondering if he was going to go with her or not. But knowing Loki, like, to be out of the control of the TVA, because he does not like to be subjugated, would be extremely convincing. And not knowing exactly what her plan is when he thought he knew is probably even more tempting. It's all like, well, what do you know that I don't? And what can I learn from you? Though I could see them clashing very heavily, because Loki and Loki, like, neither one of them wants to be second tier, even to each other. So I don't think it would be a very harmonious friendship, but an interesting one, definitely. I am also interested to know if this is like an inherent power to this variant of Loki, or if it's something that this Loki either learned or acquired, or is it from some like object or spell that they've acquired over their adventures. Is this a power that Loki also has, just doesn't know it yet? That's a possibility. But really interesting. Episode 3 technically is already available, but I will resist watching it right now because I want to stagger my Loki and Mindhunter reactions. So I'm going to watch the next episode of Mindhunter right after this. Depending on how late it is after this, and if I want to like jump into editing on this episode, maybe I will watch the third episode after Mindhunter. So maybe. We'll see. I was afraid I would finish my drink before the end of this episode. I love Manhattans. So good. I had had a Manhattan like years ago, and I really liked them. But like at the time, the thought of buying multiple spirits to make a cocktail just seemed not only expensive but time consuming. But I recently, thank you Eric, have come to reappreciate them. He bought me one on our bar marathon. Cheers. He also introduced me to Whistle Pig, which is what this is made of. Amazing. But anyway, don't really have much more to say on this episode. If I think of anything else or recall anything else, I'll probably include it at the beginning of next episode. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments down below. What do you think? Like, do you think this is going to lead into the Multiverse of Madness as well? Do you think the Time Variance Authority is going to be completely obliterated by the end of this series, or at least incapacitated in some aspect? At least unable to fully repair all the damage that Wanda may be bringing soon. But it looks like a lot of the damage might be coming from Wanda and Lady Loki. It is harder to fight a war on two fronts. But I am interested to see what Lady Loki's motives are. What do you think her motives are? What does she want to achieve here, besides utter chaos? Well, let me know in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoy reactions like these. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single one. And thanks for stopping in for this Vicarious View.